There are 6 million QuickBooks users around the world that make it the largest accounting product used. So in Australia, there are 400,000 business owners who choose to use QuickBooks to run their business. Yeah, there's a range, and they start to cover all requirements of a business. So there's the accounting product, then there's the Plus product, which brings in some payroll and a bit of items inventory management. Then there's the Pro product. So we're talking QuickBooks Pro in this case. And what Pro does is bring in job costing and quoting, sales ordering, and a more complex inventory system. Then we've got Premier, which does everything that Pro does, like payroll and inventory, but it's able to be networked across a network of up to 5 users at any one time accessing that data. Then there's the big daddy of the suite called Enterprise. And what Enterprise does is it has far more features in it. It allows multiple company reporting. It also allows up to 30 to 40 users if needed to use the file concurrently. And it also has the ability to use security in a far more finessed way than the Premier version. Yeah, that's a good question. When you're looking at QuickBooks accounting, you're looking at that small micro type business that just needs to record in who owes the money, who they owe money to, and do a business activity statement and run a report to see how they're traveling as a business. Once we go to Plus, that's where we start to bring in some payroll. So we're looking at, a business that's got a few employees, and I'll say up to 200 employees if needed. But you're able to be using some payroll and also start to do everything else that the accounting module does, but brings in some stock control as well. So then when we go to Pro, a typical company that uses Pro would be almost a trade type person or a professional service provider, where you need to do some quoting, and from the quoting convert invoices from those quotes, and also do some job costing. So in the legal world, you could have a client with many jobs. You could also have, in the real estate world, a client with many properties that are used to be rented out, so therefore you would have jobs to be able to handle that. Once we go to Premier, we are looking at those features across that network, and that's when we're starting to look at typically 5 to 30 employees in an organisation, of which about 5 would be wanting to use QuickBooks at the same time. Enterprise is typically used by that business that's gone into that medium size, could have 100, 200 employees, and are needing to be able to access QuickBooks, and they're all their accounting in different sections like payroll, and some might be handling the accounts payable, some might be controlling the accounts receivable, and they all need to do that at the same time. Okay, well, one of the things that you can do is when you've done your accounting, and you may be putting in your creditors or the people you owe money to, you can pay them using your banking software. So what QuickBooks does is create a file that's able to be exported straight in, which then means you don't have double entry, run the risk of errors, and also really speed up your processing time, which can also be done for the employees with their payroll. So you can set it up so you've got bank accounts ready against each employee, and with the flick of a button, basically pay everyone straight out through your banking operations. The other thing is that we can incorporate the taking of merchant cards so that we can speed up our payments from our customers by being able to take credit cards through QuickBooks, which then eliminates the need to have the terminal that you see often in retail shops where they have to swipe the card. In this, you just enter the details, hit process, it receives it, and the money ends up in your account the next day. They're two of the really sound benefits outside your standard accounting.